I got my meal.
Hi, my name is Janicia and welcome to my channel. I have been experimenting in baking with fresh milk flour. I first started by using my blender. It worked good, but I was losing nutrients because my blender was heating up my kernels. And I knew I wanted a grain mill, but I was not sure if I was that serious, and they were always sold out. So we bought a mill attachment for my KitchenAid mixer. It was nice, but looking back at it now, it was slow and did not mill as fine as I'd like. So the amazing Daniel, my husband, bought us a mill. I don't know how, but we got it rather quickly.
So many cardboard. Plain cardboard. You know what we could do with this. Anything else in here? Nothing else is in there. It's just cardboard. Cardboard. This is what this beauty looks like. This is the cover. When you first get the box, they have like this instruction, and it led you to a short of how you can set this to the finest setting. I guess I'll have to put my own bowl here. In the instructions, he said that we had to turn it on, had to turn this. There's a dot on here, and you have to turn it clockwise until you hear the stones touch, and then you click it back once. I was shocked. I wish I would have filmed my face so you guys could see what I look like. But wow. So all along for the past few months, I've been using this, my KitchenAid. It goes on my KitchenAid, and I'm able to mill. My last KitchenAid mixer, I was putting on like a higher speed, and it basically failed on me. My wonderful husband had to fix it, and he did, but still, I'm probably not gonna use this again. Probably not. This was so fast. It's very fine. It's very, very fine. So I am so pleased right now. I am impressed.
Now that I have a stone mill, it makes it even easier and faster to mill my grains. The less processed our food is, the better it is for us nutritionally. I am now making a wheat loaf from hard white wheat and Khorosan. Hard wheat is best for those that require a rise time, such as breads. I would suggest to start with hard white wheat if you want to begin making fresh milled flour breads. I personally rather to weigh my recipes and use baker's math. It makes scaling my recipes up or down a lot easier. All you need is a little bit of math skills. So back to school you go. I also like to weigh my recipes because the weight of the wheat kernels also equal the same when it's milled into a flour, but it's not the same when you measure by cups. So for this recipe, I wanted to make 2 loaves of bread using a 4x8 cast iron bread pans. Usually when I'm making a fresh milled flour bread, I'm supposed to let it autolyse or rest. So normally I would mix my water and my flour together, and then I'll let it rest for about 20 minutes. I totally forgot, and I added my yeast right now. So I'm just gonna proceed and just not let it rest, and hopefully it just comes out really good. But you can let yours rest before you add your yeast and your salt. So I did not do that, so I'm just gonna proceed. If you would like to make this recipe, you need 1,000 grams of grain. I use 700 grams of hard white wheat, 300 grams of Khorosan, 700 grams of water, 20 grams of salt, 80 grams of sweetener. Honey is ideal, but I use sugar, 60 grams of oil, and 10 grams of yeast. The alternative cup measurements will be in the description below. I'm going to put this now to be mixed. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to add an egg. I'm going to add 1 egg at room temperature to my bread mixture, and I am going to mix this for about 5 to 10 minutes and go from there. I feel like when I mix it a little bit longer, my bread comes out a lot better. So I did this recipe before, and my dough was a lot firmer. This dough is a little bit too wet for me. I decided I'm gonna leave it the way it is. So go to my pan. Put on my hands as well. Transferring it to, oh, it's the problem. My dough, for some reason, my KitchenAid normally mixes it really well. But, look, under here, it's a whole bunch of flour still. So, maybe that's the problem. Normally I like adding my water first, but I did not this time around because I was like, you know, it's normally fine. This mixer gets a little bit, you know, deeper than my last one. But I have flour at the bottom. So, I'm going to turn this around. Bring this flour to the top. This is so funny. Bring this flour to the top, and then I am going to mix it again in the same mixer because it did not do its job. I was wondering, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Why is my dough looking like that? But look, even as I'm touching it, the dough got a lot firmer than it was before. So look, it's not that bad, right? I'm just gonna put this back to mix again. See, it was me. I thought it was me. I was like, how? I thought I was bugging. This is a lot better. So the temperature in my kitchen right now is 73 degrees. It was 74 like a minute ago. And so because my temperature is fluctuating, I'm going to cover this and I'm going to put this in my oven. Not with the light on, but I just want to just have a consistent temperature. I'm not expecting this to necessarily double in size because we are using freshly milled flour with everything inside of it. So it might not rise to double the way that regular white flour would. Or we're looking for our dough to look puffy, not necessarily doubling in size, okay? So I'll put this in my oven. My oven has not been on since like yesterday morning, so it's fine. And I'm just gonna leave it there until it rises or puffs up. In our home, we are transitioning to using only freshly milled flour because we want all of the nutrients that a wheat grain has. A wheat grain is made up of 3 parts. It has the bran, which is the outer layer and it's full of fiber, the germ, which is rich in healthy oil and vitamin E, and the endosperm, which is mostly carbohydrates and some protein. All-purpose flour is made up of just the endosperm, which makes it store for a longer period of time, but it's lacking in nutrients. And once a grain is milled, it starts losing nutrients. And how long has flour been sitting in the grocery stores? Something to think about. I do appreciate that I can have fresh milled bread within a few hours, but I still will be making all of my favorite sourdough ingredients along with quick breads. I am so happy for my Komo mill. I feel like I've been upgraded. I feel a little bit bougie. I do feel good about it. I am so happy. So I am accustomed to baking my breads at 375 degrees. But I think that I will bake it at 350 degrees in the future because my bread came out a lot browner than I would like. We got our bread is finished. It became a little browner than I wanted it to, but that's fine. I'm gonna cut the bigger one because, you know. Ooh, looks good. So good. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy. You want to see inside it? Okay, look, baby. You can see inside. Looks amazing, right? Yeah. Amazing. Smells good too. Yes, I'm so happy. So that egg, I think, made a big improvement.
So I'm happy about that.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I inspired you in some way. If you already use fresh milk flour, what's your go-to recipe? If you don't, is this something that you'd consider? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much. Bye.
You want to taste my bread?
Sure. It tastes kind of sweet.
It tastes sweet and soft.
Okay.
What do you think, Zola?
The crust is soft. It was soft.